highly engaging video message. You statistically are likely missing 60 to 80 to 90% of the people you communicate with your message. It's going over their head, it's being unheard, they don't quite get it. And that's due to mismatches in communication styles, mismatches in learning styles, in your presentation style, the speed and how you speed up or slow down, right? And what you put in your talk. You need to activate people's brain, get them listening, get them paying attention so that they'll get more value from you. They'll buy from you. They'll share your videos more. They'll refer from you. They'll subscribe to your videos. Essentially, you're going to make more money, be more successful in less time, doing less work because you have a much more effective video, and the content that you get will light up their brain, light up their pay attention system, have them listen to the full video, and of course want to work with you and listen to your video and listen to others. My name is James Robert Elliott. Can't wait to help show you how to make your videos more engaging by being flexible and adjusting your communication style. It's easy, and I'll show you how to do that. Talk to you soon. Go have your best day ever. Take care.
Hello, everyone, and what a great promo welcome video from James. You're going to be meeting James in just a few minutes. I wanted to say hello and welcome you all to the Big View webinar, How to Create a Highly Engaging Video Message, Adapt Your Communication Style to Create a Highly Engaging Video Message. We're talking all things in making sure that you all are making your mark through video. My name is Sharon Delaney McLeod. I am a 25-year television news broadcaster turned facilitator, trainer, and coach, and a speaker. But first, we want to check in and see where some folks are coming in from all over the world. Hello from Vancouver, from Virginia. Hello to our friends from the UK, from St. Louis, Missouri, Overland Park, Kansas. Let's see, Baltimore, Maryland, from Barcelona, Spain. Excellent. Scottsdale, Arizona, New York. We've got people coming in and joining us from all over the globe because guess what? We are all absolutely required to be better at speaking and communicating on video because this is our new norm. No longer the days from the before times when we would use video communication as either a last resort or it was really highly produced. Daily communication is using video all the time. So in our session today in this webinar, we are going to be sharing with you so many great tips and tricks. Now, as you can see, there is a way to communicate with us and we want to hear from you. Continue to tell us where you're joining from, but also please give your comments as well as start popping your questions into the chat so that we can ask our expert, James, what you need to know. And also, here's a heads up. We have for you all 3 giveaways at the end of this webinar. Stay tuned. We have 2 giveaways from James and then an excellent giveaway from Big View. So I encourage you to stay tuned because we will be giving you those access to those giveaways at the end of the hour. All right, so let's go ahead and introduce our expert today who is going to be shepherding us through this work. His name is James Elliot, and for more than 20 years, James has been an accomplished and sought after leader and trainer in the fields of leadership, communication, influence, rapport, confidence, and persuasion. For 6 years, James was a master trainer apprentice in NLP, and I can't wait to learn more about that, neuro-linguistic programming. I keep hearing that term nowadays. I don't know if you all have heard it, but I'm not exactly sure what it is, so I can't wait to ask James more about that. Plus, as a human behavior expert, James has education in psychology and business from York University. He's also got a wealth of experience from his years in the corporate environment. And he teaches us all these tools and strategies because it's something that he actually struggled with as a young man. And so he's seen results not only in his own life, but in those that he works with. So please welcome to the stage, James Elliot. Hey, James. Uh-oh, I think you're muted. Are we muted on which end? All right. Are you there yet? Bruno, any help? Bruno's with us from Big View. He's helping produce today's show. All right. Bruno, you can hear me. Can you hear James? No. Okay. Let's see if, James, if you can work on that in the background. In the meantime,
How about there we go. There we go. Once I could change my settings midstream, which wasn't nice of Restream. But anyways, there we go.
Okay, it's great to have you here, James.
Great to be here. Great to be here. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
And we have some folks joining us from Canada, where you are, right?
This is true. Right on.
Toronto, the East Coast, then.
Yeah, East Coast, Mid Coast. Yeah, you got it.
All right, very good. So let's get started with some of the basic ideals that, Harvard Business Review and so many different leadership authorities and writers talk about how communication is the number one capability we all have to have today. Absolutely. I don't like to call them soft skills. I call them power skills.
Thank you. Yes.
Why is it, James, that effective communication can be so difficult for many people?
So that's the $1 million question, right? And so there one of the reasons is that there's so many different communication styles. There's different learning styles, different thinking and information processing styles. So it's almost like we're going around the world, we're communicating to our clients, our friends, even our spouses. It's almost like we're speaking a completely different language with them, even though our spouses, kids, whoever might be in the same household. So this is why we named the talk Adapt Your Message, your video, to be able to reach people. And again, statistically, you're missing 60 to 80 to probably closer to 90% of the people you communicate with just due to these mismatches, these incongruencies in communication styles. Again, it's like someone speaking, Russian to someone that only speaks English, or someone speaking Spanish to someone that only speaks Mandarin, for example, if it's a metaphor for you to look at, because of all these things, and happy to discuss a lot of these today. But it's really these communication mismatches. And that's even when we do communicate. That's even when we're able to be authentic and to speak out and to say it like it is, or tell people what they need to hear versus what they want to hear, or versus what we think they'll want to hear for them to buy from us or like us. And we get caught in this people pleasing. And think about it. Why would anyone hire you if you're just going to tell them the exact same thing that a friend? Why would they hire, right? If you're just going to say the same thing a friend would, or a family, or whatever. Why would they hire? Why would they pay you? You need to be real. You need to be raw. You need to be authentic, especially in this land of fraudsters, fakers, people taking people's money, people taking advantage of people, the lack of trust out there, unfortunately, in the world these days. You need to be raw and real, authentic. You need to speak up and speak out. And that alone will stop people. And we can talk about that too. And after that, it's that communication style. What you have in here does not get successfully to their brain. It gets muddled up somewhere. Again, usually to differences in communication styles, learning styles, and then information processing styles, which I'm happy to chat about.
I feel like there's a lot of internal and external things that affect the way we communicate. And you just mentioned, really needing to be authentic and being the real you, because you can only fake it for so long before the mask comes off. Exactly. You will be found out. And that leads me to ask you, James, about imposter syndrome. Sometimes people are afraid to be too much of the real self because they might be found out. So how do you manage that balance beam of sort?
That's a great question. That's one of my favorite things to talk about and to teach on and speak on. So we all have, first of all, we all have imposter syndrome. So if you think it's just you, forget it. I've spoken to high-powered leaders, CEOs, captains of industry, entrepreneurs making millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. And they all have it, believe it or not. Even these people we revere, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, everyone has imposter syndrome, right? It's just the way you manage, the degree to how much you have, and it's also the way you manage it. And so you need to be attacking it daily. Otherwise, it will attack you daily. Whether it's that little gremlin on your back, oh, you can't do it, or the little dirt, monkey on your shoulder, oh, they're not really listening to you, you're boring them. whatever it says, you got to make sure to manage that voice and shut it up, because it's going to talk you out of your success. It's going to talk you out of taking action, out of asking or standing up for what you want. It's going to talk you out of having boundaries. It's going to talk you out of moving forward and taking big, bold actions that are going to get you bigger and bolder results. So the good news is that even the most successful people in the world, they have imposter syndrome, and they butt up against it frequently, less and less when you have different tools to manage that. You mentioned NLP earlier. That's one of them, and we can talk about that later too. Just getting familiar and getting, I guess, militant about managing that doubting voice and stopping it, because whatever you let run in your brain is what runs your life. So if there's a bunch of crap running in your brain, or a bunch of monkeys back there at the peanut gallery saying negative things, and eventually you're going to start to believe them. Eventually it's going to bring you down. You're going to stop being powerful. You're going to stop being authentic. You're going to start worrying, wow, what do people think about me? And exactly, Tracy, big, bold actions equals big, bold results. The problem is most of us don't take these big, bold actions. That's why I think statistically, 5% of people actually achieve their results, actually achieve the things they want. That sounds horrible. And it's my mission to change that, So that's a little on imposter syndrome. You got to manage it. It happens to the best of us. So if it's happening to you, it's actually probably a good sign that you're moving towards something that's important to you. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen. You wouldn't care. Imposter syndrome wouldn't be there. So
Right. And I'm sure, James, in the work that you're doing with leaders and helping them maybe to prepare for a big talk or presentation, and the nerves. And I say, you know what? The nerves are actually a good thing. If you have zero nerves going into a big presentation, something's wrong. You're not going to have the right energy, or you don't care enough. When you have those nerves, it's actually a signal to say that you are truly passionate about this, and you can do things to quell the nerves. Use it for good energy rather than backing into a corner. I really like all that. Now, something else that I wanted to ask you about, James, because we have a global audience, and frankly, today's world is global. So it has to do with different cultural kinds of norms, and then accents. When we get to the meat and potatoes of the actual communicating, accents can become not problematic, but more challenging when communicating.
So that's a really, really good point, and I'm glad you brought that up as well. With accent, it's interesting. Most people who are concerned or worry about their accents speak English just fine. They're like, oh, it's my accent, it's this and that. And I'm like, your accent is fine. I can understand you perfectly. Now, that being said, if you have a strong accent, slow down. And that will help dramatically. Will help you dramatically. And again, I wouldn't worry too much about your accent, because you're going to turn it into a problem that it probably isn't. Again, you speak slowly, and if you need to repeat sometimes, great, right? And I've just, working for international companies for years, and now being international in what I do all over the world, it's again, speaking slowly, and at least starting slowly. And I'll explain why later, but starting slowly, and you can speed up, yes, starting slowly to catch people as well. And then number two is just to create great rapport with people, create great trust, great accountability, great rapport. And that, believe it or not, makes the communication barriers much, much less important. It makes the accent differences, language differences, much, much less important. So that's why one of the biggest things I teach in my courses is how to get rapport, how to get trust, how to get that credibility, that authority instantly. Because again, then you're communicating on more of an unconscious level. It's a lot of body language. Communication is really 7%-ish words. That's all it is. Words are 7%.
I know that whole Albert Mehrabian pie chart of body language versus vocal delivery versus the actual words is mind-blowing when you first look at it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's something else.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, and that's why avoid being too worried about your accent. It's probably fine anyways. Again, like I said, people come to me, they're so worried about their accent. It holds them back from sales, from being themselves, from podcasting, YouTube. And I'm like, Your accent's fine. You speak English better than half the people in Toronto. You're fine, right? And again, if you have a strong accent, speak slow. Just speak slow and you'll do fine. And don't worry about your accent. If you worry about it, it's going to become a thing. If you don't worry about it, forget about it. Just focus on giving your best, serve the people, and make it all about them versus being in your head. Are they liking me? Is my accent? Am I interesting? Am I strong? Are they going to buy from me? Make it all about your audience. Give them your best. And that's the best piece of advice I can give you. And that's what'll make it go the best anyways. You're going to have the best results anyways. Make it about them. Stop making it about you. Get out of your own head. Make it about them.
I love that, James. Like, don't be so selfish in thinking about you. You're supposed to be thinking about the audience and the content, the value you're bringing them. I wanted to ask, and this really leads to a practical element. If you do have an accent, but then again, we all have an accent, right? Depending on who your audience is, everyone will have an accent. With that in mind, having closed captioning when you're producing videos per se is a great way as well to assist your audience too. And you know, that's what I love about Big View is it automatically creates the closed captioning. If you saw James's video at the beginning of our webinar, you could see the closed captioning right underneath. And guess what? It's auto-populated. Woo! It's amazing. That's something. So not only does it assist your audience, but also it's the right thing to do for ADA compliance. And that's the Americans with Disabilities Act, which many countries have their own versions of that. And we should be trying to be inclusive of everyone. So those closed captionings are terrific for comprehension for your audience.
Not to mention people that are hard of hearing as well. A lot of people, not just older people, but people hard of hearing as well. So that, again, to your point, is key. And what I'll teach you later, a lot of people, 40% of the population are high visuals. For example, I'm a high visual and I like seeing things. I need to see. So captions will even increase. My hearing is fine. My accent is again, we all have accents anyways. However, that does help me learn more, learn better, especially if you're a talking head and there's not as many slides or graphics or things you're showing visually, of course. Having closed captions will, for people like me, help me learn and retain better because I'm a visual. So again, another big win for Big View because it auto-populates and you have the captions there helping you win, helping you reach 40% more people.
Exactly. And a comment from Melissa who says closed captioning is a great inclusive strategy where multiple people can access the content. Exactly, Melissa. I add it to all videos now. Any organization I work with, I ask them, please put closed captioning into your video production strategy. All right, I have a question for you. A lot of people who are attending today's webinar are probably interested in creating videos for their work. Though you go to all the trouble of making the video, why do people oftentimes not do anything after watching the video? Like what's, all this effort and then nothing happens.
So it can be a couple things. It can be, and the easy things are either no call to action, a poor, sloppy call to action, like book a consultation. That sounds kind of boring. It's like book a, insert your cool name, like book an unleash your potential, book a be unstoppable consultation and learn to blank so that you can learn, and sell it to them. Believe it or not, you got to sell them a free thing. You got to sell them a free download, sell it to them, sell them on it. What are the benefits? So that's one thing, either a weak or lack of a call to action, weak call to action, or not a clear call to action, or too many calls to action. You want to have one call to action, ideally one call to action. However, you can have it in different forms. For example, you can have a webinar. Hey guys, check out my webinar on, learning NLP, whatever it is. And I can have, for example, a webinar. I can have a downloadable cheat sheet, which is good for the visuals. The webinar is good for the auditories, kinesthetics they get to experience you. Sometimes, like myself, a high visual, I can read very, very, very quickly. And sometimes I don't want to sit through webinar. So, okay, yeah, I'll download the thing. However, if you only offer them one type or version or media for that call to action, I may not want to watch an hour or a half an hour webinar, or I may not, if I'm an auditory, I don't want to download your e-guide and read it because I'm an auditory. I want to hear it. Maybe they want the audio version. or the podcast version, or if you don't have a webinar. Webinars are pretty great because you can hit a whole bunch of things. And I would also offer them the, hey, here's the closed notes, or here's the closed captions, here's the closed captions extract, or here's the, hey, here's the 1-page, 2-page sheet visually. Again, you'll hit the visuals as well. So offer a couple different types of media for that, but one main call to action. Like, don't have a this and a that and 5 different calls to action. You're going to confuse people, and a confused mind does not buy. Mind you,
all right, there's a quote.
There's a writer downer.
Mind does not buy. I'm sitting here just writing notes after notes, James. This is wonderful.
Also doesn't sell either. So make sure you're clear on what you want them to do and your stuff and what the next step is for you. And that you believe in yourself that you can solve their problem. So a confused mind doesn't buy, and a confused mind also does not sell.
Makes total sense. Now, you mentioned all these different pieces of content that really match nicely based on your audience's preference for learning or consuming that information.
Right on.
So, would you say that videos are better than blogs or write-ups or white papers or e-guides? Because I feel like a video can hit all the different kinds of learning styles.
And it's a great question. And the answer is yes. I mean, the answer will rather the video will hit the 4 main communication styles, which are auditory. You have visuals. They like to see. Auditories like to hear things, very sensitive to tone. Again, visuals like to see things. They can read very, very quickly. They like visuals because they can actually get it. We can get it as visual. We can get it and understand it. I had trouble in math class because what would happen? Well, the math teacher would put one problem up on the board and just talk about it for half an hour. And I'm like, I don't get it. What? And you know, I used to think I was dumb in school until I realized that I'm a high visual and I need to see it. So anyways, the video, yes, with the visuals, obviously. The video will also hit the kinesthetics who are more experiential. Like, they don't want to really see as much. They don't want to hear as much. They want to be taken through something. So if you can take them through something in a video, whether it's I don't know, a demo, you show them something, walk them through something, explain something. The kinesthetics, again, another 40%. Visuals, 40%. Kinesthetic, 40% of people. So that's 80% of people if you could be missing. That's why I love webinars. I love video because you can also hit the auditories. Obviously, they're listening to the video. They may not care about the visuals. The auditory, 20% of the population can hear. And then 20% of that 20% are what's called auditory digital, or the fact finders, the detailed people. And in a video, you can have a little more explanation, a little more video than you can on like a cheat sheet or white paper. Otherwise, it'd be 1,000 pages long and no one would read it. And in the video, you can suggest links or suggest other ways to research. So that's the great thing about video. Yes, exactly, Sharon. It will hit all the different communication styles out there. And I love video. I love video. Plus, it shows you. Remember, people are not buying your thing or your business name. They're buying you. Do you seem trustworthy, authentic? Do they think you can solve the problem? Do they? And here, check this out. Here's I call it the 4 10s. They need as close to 10 out of 10 for all these to buy from you. They need to trust your company. They need to trust you. They need to trust your product and service is valid and works, and they need to trust that it'll work for them. So in a video, it dramatically increases trust and rapport, especially if you use some of the techniques I teach as well. Dramatically trust, rapport, instead of just being a flat blog, like you were saying, Sharon, a flat written blog, or a podcast is pretty good. There's audio, but there's no visual, right? So tell stories if you can, anytime you can. Video, audio, tell stories, because we love stories. We remember stories. You can help people understand something better with a story. And again, the 40% of the population who are kinesthetics, they love experiences. You really get their buy-in and you really get their attention with stories. So always stories, especially when you're writing and when you're doing audio, because you're missing a lot of the population that video can capture for you as well. So another great question.
Super good. Monique has a question. She says she's a novice to videos. I've only done one video. How are viewers able to download a handout? And so those are all good questions. Like, do you upload it within Big View or Zoom, WebEx, all the different platforms that you put it on? And I think the answer is yes to all those things. And because would you agree, James?
I would say, again, it depends on the platform, as you're saying, Sharon, depending the platform. But yes, wherever you're hosting it, you can have hey, by the way, click here for the video and click to download the sheet or the worksheet or the 5 tips or the highlights, for example. You can create your own little cheat sheet, if you will, and take your notes and just boil it down into 5, 6, 7 points, main headings, and have maybe 3 or 4 small bullets under each. Doesn't have to be long. Does not have to be long. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if someone didn't have, Monique, if you don't have a website with a link to download that sheet, another way around it is create an article on LinkedIn, which is a place where you can write an article and add visual elements to it and put the link to that within whichever platform you're using, whether it's Zoom or Wix or WebEx or Teams, any of them. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Lisa has a question for you, James. She's had her blog for 15 years and she's just now adding video to the party.
Very cool. Very cool.
Is she too late? Like, what could she do with all of that rich material?
Got it. So that's a really good question. And, I was in a coffee shop one time and I saw this sign that says, better latte than never. And it's funny. And so I loved it. I bought the sign actually too. But again, better late than never. We can't go back in time. However, from this moment on, we can do better. We can always do better. So again, it's never too late. I think you'll find more engagement, especially these days of people. You'll find more engagement and different engagement when you move to video. If you could do an audio blog, you can do a video. It's super easy, super simple. The same thing, just maybe comb your hair and put a good shirt on, take the pajama top off, and put a dress shirt on. Other than that, though, I wouldn't worry about being late to the party. Video is so useful and so rich and so helpful. Again, I think it's going to take what you do to a new level. I wouldn't even worry about, did I miss out on something by not having video? Avoid living in the past. You know better now. You can do better now. And there's this tool to do it as well. Second of all, too, just start. For all you guys, whether you have a podcast or nothing or an audio podcast only, you want to go video, just start. If you want to visit my YouTube channel, check out some of my first videos. They weren't as good as the latest videos, that's for sure. That being said, I started. I did it. And now I'm here, right? Our first stuff will most likely not be our best stuff. However, it doesn't matter. If you're being raw and real and authentic and focused on giving people your best versus, I hope this is good. I hope I don't screw up. I hope they like this. I hope they buy. Stay out of the head and think, how can I give them my best? How can I serve them my best? And give them your best stuff. Hold nothing back. Don't give them the little bits of this stuff. And you guys have seen these videos or downloads. And they're just BS. It's this BS download. Oh, here's a couple things. And buy my thing, come buy my thing. And it's like, what? I didn't get any value. Why would I buy your thing? So give them your best stuff. And it's easy to do on video. Give them your best ideas, best suggestions, best stuff, because they're like, wow, this is, Lisa's amazing. Ernesto's amazing. Monique is amazing. All these people, wow, look at the stuff she must, oh my God, if this is what she gave for free, imagine what she has behind closed doors. So give your best and just do it. Just start. If you want to make a few that you share maybe to a private Facebook group or a private Facebook channel, do a first 3, maybe do it in front of a few friends. And that way, if you screw up, no big deal. But again, I would encourage you just to go, unless you really don't want to go live your first one, just go live. Give value, seek to help people. It is going to resonate with someone, even if it's not perfect. You know how many people, other than when I forget, because Restream sometimes defaults to not my microphone. Other than that, I've never ever had someone say, well, this sucked or that sucked, or wait, it's like great content, or that was good feedback, or that was really interesting, or thanks for the value. No one said, oh, your background sucks, or oh, whatever. I don't like how you have your microphone close to your face so we can hear you and it sounds like a cool podcast. Like people are I don't like this, I don't like that. no one said anything about my content, even if it was a little rusty at first or a little unpolished at first. And check this out. I speak for a lot of organizations and a lot of speaker bureaus. And the number one thing they've said to me is we would rather have someone interesting and authentic instead of someone that's super polished and has expert status, but is boring, doesn't care, doesn't want to add value, serve and help, and really has no passion and no interest for this, right? So literally professional speaker bureaus that have 10, 15, 20, 40, $80,000 an hour speakers have told me they and most companies would rather someone slightly unpolished, but more real, raw, interesting. And that really, really gives a crap.
James, I wanted to just speak to with this question and what to do with all of this great content, because we got a lot of people putting in questions right now. A lot of people are blogging. A lot of people are creating this written content. And as a digital marketer, I think the best thing to do is reuse what you've already got. Lisa, with those 15 years of blog posts, what I would do is go back and see which ones are evergreen. What did you write 3 years ago that is still germane and makes sense for today? Take that, and then if it reads, you can actually put it a tool and figure out, if I read that out loud, it would take 4 minutes. Well, maybe that's a bit long, or maybe it's exactly right. You can copy and paste it, put it into Big View in the teleprompter, hit record, and off you go. You have your video content.
Boom,
right?
Done. Exactly. It's such a good idea. Or recycle it. Like you said, if you want to recycle it, find what were the top hitting, the most popular audio posts.
Yes.
Re-record a video on. It's new, it's fresh. You can talk about the current states of the world, add new stories, add new metaphors, add the things you've learned from Sharon and I today. Yeah, it's a great point, Sharon. Recycle it, reuse it, repurpose it. And just, again, no one's going to go back 3-4 years and say, oh, wow, Jerry or Lisa, wow, they just recycled 3-year-old content. No, it doesn't happen. And add something new as well. But you can totally repurpose that. You can absolutely repurpose that old content, especially the ones that did the best, or like Sharon said, that are still valid, still relevant. And again, that people like the most. Clearly, there's a desire for it.
We have another question here, James. What is the ideal length of time for a video?
That's a good question. So not trying to dodge the question here. However, you want to be engaging. You want to give them enough to do something with that information, but not be too long that you bore them to death or lose the intensity. I believe, unless the numbers changed, Facebook likes at least 2-minute videos to rank you well. They like 2-minute videos. LinkedIn, of course, you can only do, I believe it's 10 minutes of video unless you have access to the live. I bugged them until they gave me access to the live feature. So again, persistence wins, guys. Never, ever, ever give up until you get what you want. I bugged them so much. They told me, no, you got to wait, or it's coming next year. I bugged them till LinkedIn gave you access to live. So anyways, if you're uploading videos with LinkedIn, it's got to be 10 minutes or under. And I find 6 to 10 minutes gives you enough time to give value, expand upon that value. And I'm going to give you a structure, by the way, guys. I'm going to give you a structure today on what to say, how to say it, to make sure it's super engaging. So I'll do that in a bit. But I would say, from what I found too, my most engaging videos, usually the 5 to 10 minute range. Much more than 10 to 12 minutes, people start being like, I can't watch it quickly. If it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, like, I can quickly click on this now. I can watch this. Let me watch this right now. And they don't put it off, and your video gets watched. So that's what I've experienced. That's what I've found as well.
That's great, James. Thank you. Now, we're going to take a very quick break in just a moment. But before we go, I wanted to just highlight a couple of things. Ernesto had asked what different he wanted to know, won't Big View's captions clash with YouTube's automatic caption? Which one would you suggest you use? Here's the thing, Ernesto. You can choose to, when you upload a video that you've created on Big View that has the captions burned on per se, then choose not to have the captions on YouTube. You can, I know that they have an auto capture, but you can turn off that setting. True. And so then it won't clash. It won't be one on top of the other. And so that's one thing. And then there are a few more features I've discovered that we'll go over in just a moment. But right now, let's show you a couple of those features that you really, I think, would find really helpful when producing your next video. Bruno, let's show them the video.
Teleprompter, create videos you're proud of. Easily trim your video by selecting the words where you want to start and end. Color your presentation with automatic subtitles and highlighting keywords. Add your brand logo. Add music for an emotional touch. Add your contact info on an animated business card on all your videos. Easily replace green screen with an image or a video loop. Stand out with a web page with your logo, your video at the center, and personalized button for visitors to interact. It's one tap to simultaneously upload your videos on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Always know what to say next with the Big View teleprompter.
Worked for you.
MFit, get healthy. That was your question. What are some of the other features of Big View? I hope that you got some good tips just off of that quick video right there. Oh, James, you mentioned just before we went to that little break about a structure that you like to put together. So can you share with us what you mean by that?
I sure can. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely can. It's a very useful structure to make sure to capture the different learning styles, to capture the visual, auditory, kinesthetic, auditory, digital, capture the different communication styles. Then people who want to know the why, people who prefer to know the what, people who prefer to know all the detail and support information, the different people who prefer to know the why or the what if, right? So this will help you capture all of them. And I can talk a little more about that later as well on those types of people. However, here's a format. Here's a format. And in fact, let me see if I can paste it, because again, visuals are key. I'm going to paste it into the chat if I can. Am I able to paste it in the chat here? Do I have the ability to do? Let's see. I wonder if I can do that. Unless I can paste it to you guys, and then you guys can paste it in
there we go.
So everyone can see. That might be an option. Maybe you and Bruno can put that in. So the first, perfect. Thank you, Bruno. So the first one, you want to, when you start a video or an audio, anything, yeah, you can even do a written, right? But we're talking about video because video is king. What you want to do, you want to start with a shock. You want to shock them, and with something that's either contraindicative, something that's, exercise is not that good for your health. I mean, don't lie, but something like that, right? Oh, you've been eating wrong the whole time if you're doing eating, or you've been doing video wrong the whole time, or whatever it is. You need to, what you're trying to share and showcase, ideally, you want some sort of shock or something. Hey, people have said this for years. It's wrong. This is what you need to do, because that gets them paying attention. If you say, oh yeah, guys, you should be on social media, that people like, yeah, we know. So what? This is not interesting. Click, I'm gone. Right? It needs to be interesting. What you could say, even if you are promoting social media, you can say, social media isn't the best way to whatever. Right? And you could justify why you're saying that. What you need to do is social media plus, I don't know, learning communication styles, right? Whatever you do, just give a shock, something that's contraindicated, contrary to popular belief. Hey, if you don't know this, then you're missing a lot. For example, one of mine, and it doesn't have to be hugely shocking, but one of my things, like I said earlier, you may be missing, 60 to 80 to 90% of the people that you're communicating with. And most people say to me, James, I'm a great communicator. And when I say you may be missing 60, 80, 90% of the people you communicate with, they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? More. You've got their attention, right? So first is the shock, right? The second one is the stake. Like, what's at risk? Okay. If you don't know the stuff I'm going to teach, then you're missing basically 80 to 90% of the people you're trying to communicate with, sell with, get to buy from you, get to like you. What's your time worth? Imagine I could save you double or triple the amount of time and have you reduce it by half or 2/3, because everyone is actually hearing your message and valuing your message. They get what you're saying. They see your value. They hear your importance. They're resonating, and they make sense with your message, and they feel like you're a great fit and that you're the one to help them do whatever, so they can pay you money. Like, so if you don't do that, then you're going to go broke. If you do this, if you learn this, well, then you can make lots of money in less time, having more time for fun and more passion and fulfillment, because you're actually reaching more people, right? The stake. It does not have to be nearly that long. However, I wanted to give some examples. So you have the shock, get their attention. We have the stake. Hey, if you do this, guess what cool stuff is going to happen? If you don't do this, guess what this crappy stuff's going to happen. You don't want that. So pay attention. So you need this. Next, I would do support. It doesn't have to exactly be in this order. Use this structure though. If you want to change the order a little bit, you can. However, I would do it in this order. There's a reason I put it in this order. When you come take my course, you realize why. But for now, just follow this order the best you can. Support. People want to know you're not full of it, so support. Hey, Kevin for Big View says this, or Sharon says this, or Tony Robbins or Bill Gates or Elon Musk says this, or has been quoted saying that, or statistically speaking, A, B, C, D, E. Right? You want to give a bit of support, a bit of proof. It does not be much. It does not be long. This the gist of something. Hey, some famous dude said blank, or some psychologist, or some expert in computer science, or in communication, or whatever you do, whatever you sell, said this, right? You want some support, credibility, that authority. It could be a quote, it could be research, it could be statistics, facts. Again, it could be short, just to show the proof, right? The proof and to support your point. Make sure people know, oh, okay, they're legit. I'll continue listening. Next is the stuff. This is the what, right? So the stake is the why I should care. The stuff is the what. It's the big what. And this is where you get into the details. Okay, well, you need to grow your flowers better. You need to do A, B, C, D, or to, soup up your computer. Writing a video or doing a video on souping up your computer, or having better dates. Well, okay, you need steps. This and this, and this is the general information, and dating sucks these days, and people don't trust each other, and everyone's lying these days, blah, blah, blah. That's your content. That's where the content goes in the stuff. Now there's the steps, or the how. This is the how to do it, because some people want to know, oh, I don't care about the justification, the logic, the why. I just want to know how. Tell me how to do it. So these are the steps. This is how to do it. These are the process, the thing to follow. What's next? Okay, on your date, do this, then do that, then do that. Or when you're souping up your computer, do this, then do this, then do that. When you're designing a great video, do this and this and this and this. Chalk, stake, support, stuff, right? So these are the steps. I'm taking you through the steps right now. Satire is optional. Satire, very optional. Be a little careful. I'm not going to say be very careful, because inevitably we're likely to ruffle someone's feathers you can't please everyone these days. That's for sure. And sometimes you try and you can't please anyone. So I would avoid worrying about that. Avoid being a jerk, avoid being an ass, if you will. However, if you have a funny story or a bit of a satire, I would use it. It can illustrate your point really well. It can lighten the mood. People love comedy. People love being engaged. People love, and they tell me, James, your courses are so much fun. That's half the reason I love them. I come to them, I learn the best. So again, optional satire, right? If you find a joke that illustrates your point or proves your point, or a joke that kind of resonates or makes sense with the content, use it, right? Use it. A story. We talked about story. The next step is have a story, either your story, why this worked for you. Like, okay, I was here and my video sucked, and then I did this. I followed James and Sharon and got on Big View, and now my video is amazing. So now I teach people how to have great videos, whatever. A customer story will give you a little more credibility and authority, because it shows you can not just help you, it shows you can help someone else. You can tell both stories depending on the amount of time you have. But I definitely do at least one or the other. Your story, and you can do that in the about you. A customer story. Hey, I worked with Lisa. Worked with Lisa, and Lisa was here. Her video, she was getting 1 like per video, and then we did this. We got her on Big View. We added captions. We had a better background. We taught her communication styles. We made sure she gave her absolute best stuff, and that she wasn't just giving teeny little things. The tastes of people are like, what is this? This is not useful. This is not revelationary. Give them something amazing. And now Lisa is able to blah, blah, blah. She has lots of customers. She has lots of likes on her videos, et cetera, et cetera. So again, they're like, well, I want that too. I want to be like Lisa. I want to have what Lisa has. I want to make lots of money, have lots of clients, lots of likes, lots of thumbs up on my videos. Wow. Can I hire you? I want to be like Lisa. Right? So it gives more proof and more authority, more credibility when you share stories yourself, but especially when you share customer stories as well, right? Next is a summary. Really quick, avoid repeating everything you said. That was my mistake at first. Really quickly, okay, summary. Remember, shock, the stake, the support and proof you need, the stuff, the steps, the satire, the story. That's what you need, guys, right? So that's my summary. Avoid reiterating everything you said. Just hit them back with some big, just a few key points to what you've talked about. And then, okay, here is an intelligent action. Give them something to do. Get them to take action. Here's an intelligent action you should take if you want to be successful with this. Download my thing, or go make a video today. Go make a video today, no matter how ready you are or how ready you aren't. Just go make a video, even if you have a bad hair day. Go make a video, broadcast it to a private Facebook group so no one sees it. Or honestly, guys, broadcast it to the world. People like raw and real. If you see some of my videos, I'm hiking at the top of a mountain in Peru. It's like, hey, it's James, and my quick raw and real uncut James of the day. I'm in the mountains of Peru, and I had this thought. People love that stuff instead of a perfect, studio, perfect, green screen, all that stuff. People don't resonate with that anymore. It's too salesy, it's too markety. People want authenticity. People want someone real. So that can be intelligent action. Do this, download this thing, and book a jumpstart your life call with me, or whatever you want to call it. Give them that intelligent action. Give them something to do. Intelligent action, usually I would suggest something that benefits them. Like, hey, go start a video, or go ask someone on a date, or go tell your boss you want a raise, or go, throw out the junk in the fridge. And then, by the way, if you've liked this, your next step, the next thing for you to do is for you to download my thing, or for you to, book a free Unleash Your Power, Take Your Life, Your Business, Your Dreams to the Next Level consultation with me, where we're going to talk about your communication, talk about barriers, the imposter syndrome, self-doubt, what has you resist and procrastinate, and when you take action, how to be at your best so you can go rock the world, make great money, make a big impact, change the world, and have a lot of free time to do things you love, because you're more effective. You're not wasting time or reaching out to people that say no. You're not having people give you excuses. You're winning. There we go. And so it doesn't have to be that long either, but that's a little example of how you
Sure. Those are true. I mean, those are a whole list of things, because people are always like, well, I want to make a video, but I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
So your list right there. There it is. There's our Cliff Notes, our cheat sheet of all the things you can use to get started.
Yep.
All right. Yep. I wanted to ask James, because I keep hearing this term, and it is, you are this, which is a neuro-linguistic programming expert, or NLP. Okay. Cool. What is that? It sounds very
that word. Other than a long ass word. Yeah. Neuro-linguistic programming. What is that word? Wow, that's a long word and a half. So what neurolinguistic programming is it came from studying since before the 70s. However, in the 70s, they started boiling it down into something we could teach people that's teachable. So what it is, it's studying the most successful people in the world, the history and current, the most successful, most influential people in the world, the best communicators, leaders, captains of industry, people who are the most influential, who were able to reach people and influence, make an impact, make a difference, right? Therapists, mentors, coaches, speakers, leaders, you name it. And so they studied them for years and years and years. Two gentlemen, Richard Bandler and John Grinder. And what they did, they created this, I'll call it a mindset, I'll call it a tool set, I'll call it a system of strategies, and I'll call it a secret sauce, if you will. And what they've done, they created a system, and now I literally live my life. I don't just teach it, I live my life by it, because these principles, the mindset to live by, the way to communicate with people, it's all about so neurological, linguistic, language programming. And it's all how to about change your mind, your mindset, your confidence, eliminate self-doubt, and be able to powerfully go out there and confidently, passionately be your best, even when things aren't perfect, even when life is blowing up around you, even when, stuff blows up, right? Whatever it is, whatever. Like my mic for some reason didn't work when we first started this morning. Just be at your best instead of, oh my God, the mic is on. Are they going to think I'm an idiot? Or are they going to like this or not? Just being able to be at your best no matter what, because I promise you, life happens. Life will happen no matter what you do. Whatever you are doing life happens. When I was speaking in a big auditorium, a big sign fell down, almost hurt some people. And it was like, oh my God, it was just bananas, right? Stuff I promise you will happen. So this will help you beat your best. NLP really is the language of your unconscious or subconscious mind. So it helps you work with your own inner fear, worry, resistance, and get past it, eliminate it, so you can go out there, stop procrastinating, start taking big, bold action, avoid the fear, avoid the worries, avoid the judgment, avoid self-doubt, avoid worrying what people will think about you. By the way, it's one of the best ways to kill your success is to worry what people think about you. Now, it doesn't give you permission to be a jerk. However, stop worrying what people think about you. Stop worrying about them judge you, or if they like what you do or like what you say. Because if you're inauthentic, if you're just a vanilla ice cream flavor of you, no one's going to res. Trust me, I've tried for years and tried to people please, and it doesn't work. You have a message. If you ruffle a few feathers, that's okay. It means that you have a message. It means you're standing for something, and that is what people will resonate with. You want them polarized. They love you or they don't like you. You don't want, yeah, okay, Sharon's okay, or yeah, James is okay, or Lisa's all right, Jerry, yeah, Jerry's all right, Marie, yeah, she's okay. Because people don't buy from people like that. Oh, yeah, they're just okay. They won't pay you money. They won't follow you. You want the polarization. People love your message and your jive and your vibe, or people don't. And that's cool. You want that. It means you're standing for something. It means you have a message. So anyways, NLP will help you get past the internal blocks, the internal barriers, and learn from the stuff that drives you nuts, learn from your failures, and be able to powerfully, confidently articulate and communicate with all the different learning styles I've talked about, all the different communication styles I've talked about, and all of the information processing styles, which we didn't have time. It's a little outside the scope of today. All the information processing styles. You can learn how people make decisions, learn the order they make decisions, so that you, when you're enrolling them, selling them, whatever, you can actually give them the information they need in the order they need it. So basically, it's how to communicate better, how to understand your mind better and the mind of your customer better. And when you can do that, wow, you can make more sales in less time, have more fun, less work, more free time to do cool stuff you love. So that's the basis of NLP. It helps you get over really any block and communicate powerfully, effectively. And that's just the start of it.
Just scratching the surface. Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
James, Jerry wanted to ask, clearly you have been making and creating videos for a while. He wants to know about measuring the return on investment. If you're going to make the effort to create these videos and then you're posting them, then you're trying to get eyeballs to them and all of that, what is it worth it? What have you seen in your business since you started doing video to help support your mission?
It's a good question. And I want to say sometimes it can be hard to measure that tangible value. I've had so many people say to me in person or at a networking group or friends when they got to see me, hey, that video on that was really cool. Or, I loved your video on that. I'm like, well, why didn't you comment on it for me? Or why didn't you I didn't see your thumbs up. I didn't see you comment. Guys, most people won't comment, won't thumbs up unless it really reaches them. So that makes it a little hard to realize the tangible benefit of videos. People, it may take 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 14 of your videos to enroll someone into, okay, wow, I know them now. I like them. I trust them. You're hitting on different principles of influence, the laws of influence, which again, I love teaching as well. How to be influential, how to be persuasive. Like you start hitting on them when you're doing more videos. So sometimes it can be hard. I wouldn't always measure, okay, this video got that many thumbs up or that many comments, that many likes. Yes, that is a way. Certainly, it is one of the ways to measure that as well. You could also measure, a big view or YouTube. You can look at statistics. Okay, how long did people watch for my videos? Are they most people dropping off at the 2 or 3 minute mark? Why is it getting boring, or are 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes? Is that where my audience's kind of mindset is at? Is that where their attention span is at? Right. So it can be hard. You're right, to return on time invested. I've had videos that didn't get a ton of views publicly. However, you can use it as social proof and credibility when you're working with someone. So someone wanted to work with me and we talked, had a great first call. Okay, let me check you out. Let me research. Let me do some more, digging. Cool. You know what? Tell you what, let me send you 4 or 5 videos. I think they'll really resonate with what you're struggling with, what you're wanting to do. Sent them those videos. Again, the videos didn't have a lot of likes or thumbs up in them. So I could have thought, well, maybe the videos are crap. And this person, he's like, holy crap, these videos are amazing. They totally answer my questions. Are you going to talk more about this in your course? I said, absolutely. He said, I'm in. So again, it can be very, very challenging to really measure the time on these videos, because there can be so many benefits. I've done people, 2-3 year old videos where people have been like, oh, that video on that, I saw that, I decided to call you. I'm like, I did that video 3 years ago, and cool. Right? So you're right, timing precious, Jerry. Again, give your best. Delete nothing, even if it was weird or you started off strange or it wasn't your best video. Delete nothing. You'll never know what people will resonate with. Often when we're raw and real and make some mistakes or have something, there's even a strategy now. People deliberately misspell a word in the title subject of their emails because you're like, well, that's misread. Your brain will actually catch that and pay attention to a deliberately misspelled word, and you'll open the newsletter. It's a strategy now. So again, delete nothing. Even if it's not perfect, right? Aim for just getting it done versus perfection. So that's it's a hard question to answer. How does one know if it's worth the effort, right? It could be very, very, very challenging. However, I'll give you one thing. You're going to get better at speaking, better at communicating, better at just being on, better at practicing communicating, better at delivering, giving value. So if the videos even do nothing at all, except help you be better, confidently communicate better, practice better, be more articulated, more confident in what you say because you're practicing what you say, that alone will help your sales, will help your speaking, your confidence, your deliverability, and you just being on. And I don't know, maybe my mic falls off the table and you just bouncing back because you know your stuff's happened, things have blown up before, things have failed before. You're like, oh, cool. Well, the gods have spoken, and your mic falls off the table type thing. Oh, great. The gods have spoken, right back to it, right? So it's very hard to measure all the benefits, and worst comes to worst, you're going to get better at your craft and everything you do, even if that's the only thing it does for you. So hope that's helpful.
Yeah, and there's so many articles, Jerry, that you can look up just to illustrate how impactful video can be as a part of your full marketing matrix, whatever all the different things you're doing to help market your business, your service, and what you're offering. Okay. And as we are coming to a close, all right, if we had a drum roll here, and I'd love to make sure that everybody gets this information. We promised it at the beginning of the webinar that we have 3 giveaways as we conclude this awesome session with James. And thank you so much. I took pages and pages of notes. For those of you in the chat who maybe had to leave to go to a meeting, this is rewatchable on Big View's YouTube channel. La la. So, and as well as James and my LinkedIn and YouTube, we have all of our different places. So you can go back if you missed something and listen to it, hearing more about the clear call to action or the intelligent action. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways, putting in all the effort to make a video and then what? So I love some of that advice, James. And I think it's terrific because a confused mind does not buy, right? Okay. All right. So here we go. Giveaway number 1, James is offering to you his course that he's referenced a couple times here. So you can either email James directly, or the link is going to be in the chat here. If you would like to sample some more of what we've already learned from James today, you can take his course. He's also got a Calendly link there, so you can connect with James. So that's giveaway number 1. Also, James very kindly is offering a 30-minute consultation Q&A feedback session. So basically a free 30-minute session with James. All right, so that's going to be in the link too. You can set that up through James's Calendly. And then last but not least, Big View is offering 7 days of the free paid version. Did you get that? So you can try out all of Big View's bells and whistles for 7 days to see if it's right for you. And I encourage you to give it a shot. So you can go ahead and sign up and try out all of the different features for 7 days. And at first you might think, oh, this is a little bit too much. I don't know if I can learn all of this. I promise you, give it a try. James, thank you so much for your time today. To all of you who joined us from around the world, thank you. And we look forward to seeing you next time.
My pleasure. Have a great day, everyone.
Now more than ever before, the way you communicate can make or break your career. Hi, I'm Sharon Delaney McLeod. I'm a television journalist turned speaker and facilitator, working with leaders and their teams to amplify their impact. In our hybrid world, it's crucial to connect with each other in meaningful ways. In fact, new research shows that effective communication has become the most vital competency and non-negotiable skill that modern leaders must flex to keep their teams engaged and productivity high. I invite you to follow my content for professional development best practices, podcasts, articles, and videos that will help you drive business results. I look forward to partnering with you in person or virtually to level up what I call your power skills. Hit the link below to start a